Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Yesterday we talked about God giving Moses the plans for the tabernacle and how he gave him this wonderful design for this intricate, richly furnished special tent that was going to have all these special rare fabrics and all kinds of gold and silver fittings and everything else. And we said that Moses would have said, God, this is brilliant, but I've got two questions. Where are we going to find the people that are going to make all that kind of stuff, that have the skills to do that? And where's the gold and silver going to come from? Well, in both cases, the answer was the same. God had already provided it. He had already provided Bezalel and Aholiab and others who he had given the skills before they even knew that they needed the skills. He had given them the skills to do great craftsmanship. But also God had given the Israelites gold and silver from the Egyptians. Whenever they were leaving Egypt, they said to their Egyptian neighbors, they asked to borrow silver and gold from them and took it off into the wilderness. And of course, they never came back. You know, when I first became a Christian, I'm reading that and I'm thinking, man, that's not good. You're asking people to borrow stuff off them and then you don't return it. That's stealing. When I prayed about it, I got to a better understanding and I realized that this is not to legitimize stealing and we should return what we borrow. But in fact, the Israelites, of course, had been kept wrongly as slaves for 400 years. So they were just collecting their back wages for the all 400 years of unpaid labor that they had done. But God gave them gold. And they were going to use that gold that the Egyptians had given them, this Egyptian gold, to produce all the fittings for the tabernacle. And so in Exodus chapter 36 and verse 1, it says this: So Bezalel, Aholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord had given skill and ability to know how to carry out all the work of constructing the sanctuary are to do the work just as the Lord has commanded. And then Moses summoned Bezalel and Aholiab and every skilled person to whom the Lord had given ability and who was willing to come and do the work. And they received from Moses all the offerings the Israelites had brought to carry out the work of constructing the sanctuary. And the people continued to bring free will offerings morning after morning. So all the skilled workers who were doing all the work on the sanctuary left what they were doing and said to Moses, the people are bringing more than enough for doing the work the Lord commanded to be done. And then Moses gave an order, and they sent this word throughout the camp. No man, now listen to this, this is a command. No man or woman is to make anything else as an offering for the sanctuary. And so the people were restrained from bringing more because what they had was more than enough already to do all the work. You know, I've heard many different methods of fundraising over the years. Money is something that's a necessity. If you're going to do stuff for the Lord, it costs money. Most churches would take up an offering, take up a collection or whatever. I remember years ago, I'm probably going back now, nearly 30 years when we were starting the church in Drogheda. We had all kinds of people came to our services. And I remember one day we were taking up the offering and there was a noise going on. I went over to see what was going on. And one of our ushers, Big Pat Bagnall, he's gone to be with the Lord now. And Pat had somebody by the throat up against the wall. And I'm like, Pat, what are you doing? And then I hear what he's saying. He's saying to the guy, put the money back in the basket. This guy, instead of putting money in the offering, had taken money out of it. So churches find out ways of financing, and there's all kinds of fundraising methods, and there's experts and organizations that deal with that. But I tell you this, I have never heard of a pastor having to restrain people from giving. I've never heard of a church sending out a message saying, please, nobody give any more money. We've got more than enough already. You see, this was not a collection. This was an offering. Now, I know sometimes those words are used interchangeably, but they're not. A collection is something where you try to get people to give. An offering is where people want to give. And this huge offering, the greatest offering that has ever been seen in any church in history under Moses, was based not on need. It wasn't saying, well, we need this, we need that. It was based on vision, because they caught the vision for this beautiful tabernacle that God was going to make. And they said, I want to have a part in that. I want to invest into that. And they kept giving and giving and giving and giving until they had to be restrained from doing so. Based on vision, not on need or greed. I pray that today, as God has a great vision for what he wants to do in the church today, I pray that there would be a vision for people who want to be a part of that, that we wouldn't need collections because people want to make offerings. May God bless you this day. Join us again next time for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.